Hello and welcome to the Unnamed Reverse Engineering Podcast. I'm your host, Alvaro, and joining me today is my co-host, Jen, and David from Cyber City Circuits. Welcome, David.
Woo!
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm number 35.
I'm so happy, Dave, that you're here. I'm
Oh,
so happy
sweet.
that Alvaro got through that.
Stick around after the ending to see
There'll
what
probably
Jen
be
meant.
something.
How to keep people listening, right?
Yeah, this is not helping them keep listening right
No.
now.
So, David, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hey, I'm David Ray. I'm with Cyber City Circuits. We're out of Augusta, Georgia. We do electronics manufacturing, design work. We primarily focus on working with small businesses, people, groups that are just 1 to 3 people. Usually, they have an idea. Maybe they already have the concept. They're already done some like Arduino breadboarding and development work, and we'll help them productize it and bring it to the market.
Cool.
Another thing we're doing is in the month of December, which is this is the Friday
Right
before
now.
Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody! In the month of December, we collaborated with HackerBoxes at hackerboxes.com, and that is a monthly subscription box. And we on box 86, we put a soldering kit that we designed for a previous subscription box that we used to do, and it's a really cool theremin kit. So check it out at hackerboxes.com.
And we'll have links
Yeah.
in the show notes for sure.
Sure.
Yes.
All right, so you mentioned Cyber City Circuits. You make a lot of stuff. How did that come about? And then I also will note in the website there's says reverse engineering on there. So I want to get to that at some point.
So we do. There's 2 of us. It's me, my business partner Chris. We do a lot of design and fabrication. We have a machine shop in the back. We have an entire PCB assembly line. The goal is to build a building to where we can build anything we want within that building. Going to PCB fabrication. We're working on a PCB mill now, and we have a 5 foot by 10 foot CNC mill and bridge ports and lasers and all that stuff too. And I've been in business for 4 years. This past October makes it 4 years. Started out in my kitchen, on my kitchen table, right? Or
Nice.
I had an old Tough Book, Panasonic Tough Book I used to carry around with me, and I used that thing for years. And I learned Python and KiCad and all that stuff on it. And Chris has been doing this work for many years. He has 15 years machine shop experience. He's done work for BattleBots, NASA, and everything in between.
So so if your building has the capacity to do anything, are we saying not just electronics, what potentially could make a giant, let's say, dinosaur that could poop out tacos and fling them at people?
The potential is there.
Mhm.
So we have a lot of experience doing automation controllers
Mhm.
and such. So what you would need some solenoids and conveyors and ovens and food safety stuff along
Yeah.
the way. But yes, that is what I'm saying. Yes.
Okay. So if I was one of those 1 to 3 people who somehow built an Arduino lizard, small scale, proof of
Mhm.
concept, you could help me make it to like Tyrannosaurus Rex proportions.
Yes, I would
potentially.
be more than happy to help you do it. And if it's not something that if there's parts of it or aspects of it we can't help you with, we can always pass you on or point you in a direction of someone that can help you.
Okay, great. I just needed to know that.
We do also do a lot of work with companies. So primarily our customer profile, like, every business has customer profile, right?
Mm-hmm.
The profession that most of our customers actually have by trade, like they went to college to learn a thing, mechanical engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Strangely enough, right? It's like they design a mechanical thing and they need an electronic thing to go in it.
Mm-hmm.
So they come to me to design the electronic thing that goes in it. And so yeah, if we can't fabricate the dinosaur here, we have plenty of leads of people that can.
Cool.
We know dinosaur fabricators countrywide.
That's very niche.
Yeah.
That's part of what makes it so hard to be in business doing this kind of stuff. But if you put yourself out there, people will find you.
Now they will.
Right.
Now they will.
It's cybercitycircuits.com.
And it'll be in the show notes.
So
go ahead.
You primarily make a lot of stuff.
Right.
But you also list reverse engineering services, if you will. And I'm always curious to talk to.
So
yeah.
So I've done some reverse engineering work. And so something that's interesting that I never really considered before I'd done this before is a good bit of the work that you get doing reverse engineering. I don't know if you've seen this before yourselves, but it's companies that lost design control. Like they have a PCB, they've been using the same PCB for 20 years. It was never a problem, but suddenly no one knows how to make the PCB or how to make the change. Or like the transistor that's in it. The transistor.
Where did we put the thing? Yep.
Right.
Yep. That was my first project. Yep.
They need somebody to reverse engineer the thing, and it could be something simple like a control panel on an Epson printer. Because so how a lot of times it works, and we'll get to it with the TI-83 calculator is. And I believe this is the case with the TI-83, but I can't get anybody to talk to me at Texas Instruments. If you're listening, please. I'd love to talk to you. I believe a company called EventTech out of Taiwan and Japan actually designed and manufactured the ASIC and the circuit board design for the TI calculator. And that's what a lot of companies do, is that they'll have requirements, they'll farm it out to a company somewhere, and then that company, all of the OEM wants is, I need 25,000 of a thing. And so the company they farm it out to gives them 25,000 of a thing, and there's no other concern. They never considered that one day I may not be able to make more of this thing.
They forgot to put that in the proposal that we will retain rights, the deliverables.
Right.
Yeah, if you have the Gerbers at all, right? Like you might not get the design files, period. You just get like, oh, here's your boards.
Yeah, but then a MOSFET goes out of stock.
Yep.
Yeah. Or these days,
end of life.
Yeah. Or it gets obsoleted because a lot of this stuff it'll be designed from the late 90s, and it'll be using a PIC controller, and like it'll have some crystal that it's a special footprint for this crystal, but you can't buy the crystal anymore. And there's no such thing as that crystal with that footprint ever again. And there's nothing I can do for you. Let's redesign it. Oh, well, I guess we got to start from the very beginning because we don't have any of the actual design files.
So what's the process if a customer comes to it's like, hey, I have this board, I need more of them, or I need to fix it or something?
Yeah,
what's your process?
It could be that. So we'll do like a consultation. Well, you come to us with a problem. We help you define your problem, see if we can make a good fit. And it may not be that you need a reverse engineer of that exact board. You just need another board that does the same thing. You know, and which is that could be much easier, right? And it's a lot cheaper and more cost effective than having to fully tear down someone else's work from 30 years ago. Because a lot of times they don't use, it turns out they don't use modern day best practices. They use their best practices. And so it could be a little trickier reading someone's 30-year-old work on a circuit board. But like if, let's say it was just a button panel, well, you don't need a reverse engineered button panel. You just need a button panel, right? Let me make you a button panel. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
So the process is they'll come to me and we'll have a consultation, we'll sit through and we'll actually work on defining their problem so that we could find a solution together. And that may include reverse engineering the board. It may be designing a board that just has the same form, fit, and function. Because you might need, when you narrow down what the problem is, you open up a whole new array of solutions. So we like to sit down and actually figure out what the root of the problem is.
Yeah. when you do have to reverse engineer it, do you do X-rays? Do you scan the PCB and like trace over it
We
with
scan it. So
KiCad?
we do scanning. We use photo scanners. We bought a $300 photo scanner on Facebook for $60, and it'll do 6,400 DPI. I kid you
Yep.
not.
Wow.
I could scan a circuit board 3 inches by 2 inches,
Yep.
blow it up to the size of a billboard, and lose 0 resolution. But
Wow.
it's also like several gigabytes in size.
Okay, what is the platform that you? Because we have some of these in our house because I have a photographer in house. But like, what's the
The bed?
Yeah, the bed. Thank you.
I don't know, like maybe 8 inches by 18 inches, 20 inches.
Well, that's not bad.
Okay,
that's maybe 10 inches. But it's a photo scanner. It's a flatbed photo scanner.
Because I was wondering when I was going through some of the projects that you posted pictures on Twitter. I was like, how was he getting this resolute? Like, how was he doing that? Because one of the other, not to contrast with the technique that you're talking about, Eric
Schleppert.
Tube time.
Yes.
The way that he was teaching is like, oh, you can get like a bright light. And so what I got one of those tracing lights, which is just an array of LEDs, and you just put it on top, and then you can do all the tracing or highlight what's going on underneath there. But you're just using a photo scanner. So you
remove the components, I assume, and then
both. So you want multiple layers, right? So
I was wondering how you did that.
So I scanned it in. If it's a 4-layer, we'll use a CNC. Like I said, we're building a CNC mill. We'll mill out the layers. We need multiple copies of the same board, right? Because it's destructive. So we'll mill around layers and then scan the inner layers. Then we put it into GIMP, which is open source, and it's like Photoshop kind of for open source.
Yeah.
Except different. Yep.
Yeah, except different. And you want to mess with your saturations and your contrasts and all that stuff, so that the traces really pop. And then and you do that for all your images. Your front, you want an image of the front with components, an image with the front without components, in the back the same way. And then you feed them into Inkscape, and you can stack them into layers. And then it gets really cool, because then it becomes like almost like you can like X-ray through it. Yeah, it's super. It's nice. We're looking to get. If anybody wants to help us buy an X-ray machine, we I don't know if y'all know Travis Scott, Goodspeed.
Yes.
He's been fooling around. We actually drove up to Knoxville to hang out with him, and he has a X-ray thing that he's doing. And I want X-ray machine so bad.
I feel like maybe we can put you in contact with somebody who I think might be selling one. I might have overheard them talking about selling one.
All right, I won't mention names just in case.
But you know what I'm talking about. I know
the Mountain View Reverse Engineering meetup, which we need to mention.
It's a really
there's
good
always
way.
Talk of X-rays.
Yes, X-rays and SEM.
Yes. Well, there was one time at the meetup where they actually brought a van with X-ray machines in the back, and we would X-ray our gizmos. No, literally, it was a van in the parking lot.
There's a picture of me taking. Like some of them are in the rain, so they have their.
Yeah, it was raining, and we're in a parking lot with an X-ray van.
You just see a bunch of adults gathered around a van in the middle of a parking lot.
One of those
police
white
come
vans.
by.
Yeah.
Right. What's going on here? And
well, we saw what was inside of
our badges from work.
Well, no, I think we did a
Tamagotchis,
phone
probably.
Tamagotchi. We did a Tamagotchi. I don't remember what else we did. I don't know who brought what that night.
Yeah, just anything we had in our pockets in cars that it went in there. Key fobs from cars.
Yep. But yeah. Let's talk after the show.
Oh, absolutely. I will. Again, I'd love to have an X-ray machine.
I don't know how you ship that places, but
I mean, shipping is a solved problem. I think it's just a matter of how much money you're willing to pay.
Right. But a cross-country trip I don't know.
Via train. That doesn't sound suspicious at all.
Yeah, with the X-ray machine, just carrying around the X-ray machine on the train.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like they have security now on trains, so
it's just a box.
It's a big box, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like sealed. The X-ray source is sealed.
Well, and it's like it needs power to emit X-rays, right? It's not like yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
X-rays.
So anyway, X-rays. Call for X-rays. Okay. So there was another thing that popped up in my head. How do you feel about Inkscape? Because I find that an inscrutable piece of software.
It's so miserable.
Okay. Because you seem to have gone very far with it, but everyone else I talked to is like, ugh.
It really makes you want to cry, and so
tears of joy when you get something done. I suspect.
But on Inkscape, it's like take notes. Just take notes. Like there's hotkeys, so it's about learning the hotkeys. Everything's a hotkey apparently. If you don't know the hotkey, it just isn't going to work right.
Okay.
And write it down and make a ritual to where if I want to make it a multi-layer bitmap, and you write down the rain dance you have to do to make it do that thing. And so I've done that. I did that for years. I've gotten a little bit better since then.
Make a screen
it's
recording.
Very hard. Huh?
Do a screen recording where the keys show up and the
Ding. It's like Dance Dance Revolution, but with your fingers.
But the cool thing is too about photo scanning is every time I've done it, it's been true dimensions. So when I'm done with it, I can import it right into KiCad, and then it's exactly the right dimension, and it's perfect and it's beautiful.
Yeah, because taking photos from afar, you usually get like people don't realize you have to take a photo pretty far out. If you're up close, you're gonna get a lot of distortion on the edges,
and there's some level of guesswork that has to go into getting that right.
Yeah,
because you get skews and stuff like that, and then even the lens affects the dimensions somewhat.
Yeah, you can correct that all in software, but it's a lot of extra steps that you shouldn't have to do.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. Yeah, I don't know how you do it in GIMP. I know how to do it in Adobe,
but in the with the scanner, it just comes out, and so anything over 1200 DPI seems to work very, very well. I don't think there's any real reason to go more than 1200 DPI unless you just really like to slow down your computer a lot.
Or if you want to print out a building size poster of a circuit board.
Well, that building size, that's a different thing, but just for the purpose of reverse engineering.
You could have, if you want to carpet a whole workshop, just, print out a carpet.
Oh my God.
Circuit board.
New business idea.
I've been needing to get a blotter.
These are dangerous things.
What if we just what if you went into yet another business and now you're printing out linoleum tiles custom
with circuit board scans?
With circuit board or whatever. Maybe people just want dinosaurs.
I mean, that's a $1 million idea right then and there, and someone in the audience needs to take it and hurry up with it,
so
and
we
then
can
give me a call
stuff
when it's ready.
Now we'll buy some tiles.
So yeah, once you get it into GIMP and it's all nice and pretty, and you get your contrast and your saturation and everything set up, you build it in layers in Inkscape, and then with the SVG2 Shenzhen plugin, and there's a lot of resources on YouTube that will get it pretty effectively working. It's still going to have some miserable aspects to it. And I would venture to say that almost all of those miserable aspects will have to do with what your thresholds were when you imported it, and the outline. The edge cut is going to make you want to question life decisions, but it takes with some patience. You can get the outline right. I've had it come out right pretty good the first try a few times. Another thing I found is that if you can make an outline and then export it as a DXF, that's Delta X-Ray Foxtrot file. You can import that through another way into KiCad, and then it'll come out perfect.
Yeah,
because it'll be a vector.
Right. So it can be, Inkscape's difficult.
But it's free.
And it does work. It's very technical.
Yeah.
Like it's like you have to put your tongue in your cheek and turn around 3 times to get it to work.
You have to wait for the phase of the moon to be just right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's go ahead.
Oh no, I'm gonna link to the SVG to Shenzhen in the show notes as well.
I remember this one also feeling like, I don't know. I'm just giving both pieces of software some side eye.
Right. This Twinkle Twink on Twitter. He did a fabulous talk a number of years ago on SVG2 Shenzhen. So if you listener go to YouTube and type in SVG2 Shenzhen, you'll see him Twinkle Twink give a lecture on it. I want to say it's like 45 minutes, and it's very comprehensive.
It is. It goes from start to finish for all the weird, from taking the graphic into, if it's the same one that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, no, it is. It was like a Krusty the Clown thing or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But it is still difficult. But all new things are difficult when you're learning new things, right? So don't give up.
But I also think the software has changed a couple of times since
I think so too.
Which has also made that talk not as beneficial.
I learned KiCad watching Sean Hemel teach me version 4.
Oh yeah.
A number of years ago on YouTube.
I think I started with 4 because I tried it before that and it was not good.
No, I think I used Chris Gammel's
getting
contextual electronics.
Getting 0 to Blinky or whatever it was.
I watched a lot of his stuff. Yeah, listener, if you want to learn KiCad, there's absolutely obscene amount of talent and skill free on YouTube. Please take advantage of it.
And if you have YouTube Plus, you don't have to watch commercials.
Right.
This is some pre-show conversation.
Right. Yeah.
So we were talking reverse engineering, and I'm gonna
using
connect
the scanner
that.
And
getting
the layers. We got the layers. Bada boom.
Yeah, so you got
bing.
the layers, and then when it comes in, and I have a lot of these pictures in the Twitter thread, if anybody's interested. It's however clean you want it, it's not going to come out that clean on the other side on SVG as a scan, because like all the little artifacts, all the little pieces of dust in your scanner will pop up in KiCad.
Yeah, so that was the thing that I was noticing, because like I was going to ask you, like, some of the pictures, like there's kind of like some of the color blobs are not even, and I was like, okay, is that because the surface of the PCB isn't even, or is it because reflection of the light, so we could, like, while it was doing the scan, that caused that?
Which one are you talking about?
Oh man,
hold on, I'm pulling it up real quick.
Yeah,
because we can edit this. And whose job am I making it more difficult for right now?
Nobody's.
Who's editing? Well, no one's editing.
I do the editing
usually
because I have more time right now.
Yeah.
I use my iPad, and
everyone wants to know this.
Yeah, but it's easy to cut stuff out.
Yeah, where was it? There was one that like I saw.
But I don't usually cut anything out. I just let
not much.
Blah, 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 blah.
Well, I will say that when you have components on the board, it may not sit flat, and so you will get a little bit of distortion. That's why it's really important to, and favorable in a lot of cases, to do destructive imaging where you take the parts off.
What's your go-to way for removing parts in mass?
We got one of those baby hot plates. You know the one, right? Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Tiny one?
Yeah, the little adorable ones.
Yeah,
and those things are amazing. So we'll use that. And I like using too much flux. I think that helps a lot.
Yeah.
And and hot air.
Okay.
Nice.
I have the one. It's from 624, and it says, "Oh goodness."
Oh
Can
goodness.
You put it in the show notes.
Make Augusta goodness. I love Twitter because I can just type in. It's as a build log, right? Yeah, it's great. I can just
make sure you download your archive.
I already download. You know what? It's not as useful as you think it is.
No, there's Python scripts to make it into useful.
But there's nothing to import all that shit into Mastodon. But let's
a readable format. You have to write some kind of Python script or something.
Oh, somebody already did.
They did, but it has not worked for me. Okay, let's go. So.
Oh yeah, so this is like a little artistic thing. I put the images. Well, I was trying to figure out the image manipulation better. I happened upon this on my iPad, and I was like, "That's neat."
Yeah, I wasn't sure like what you were trying to show because I was like, some of these are very. I wasn't sure like if some of the shapes were because of the unevenness on the.
No, it was just something fun.
You just doing filters, okay?
Yeah. Just I was just doing filters. He's got a little cat face. He got a little dog face on one. Check it out on the Twitter thread, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So
go ahead.
Oh no, yeah. I was gonna try to link this to the TI-83 reverse engineering project you have going on.
Mm-hmm. So let's transition.
Oh,
Not
so I've been reverse engineering the motherboard to a revision A of the TI-83 Plus graphing calculator.
So
go ahead.
What does that mean? Like, so if I have a TI-83, is this for someone who's not working, or are you adding features to it?
Whoa. Let's take it one step before that. What the hell is a TI-83 calculator for people who only use the calculator found in their computers or on their phone?
Or phones?
So the TI-83 Plus graphing calculator was produced by Texas Instruments in 1999 and is still currently being produced. The revision I'm using is a revision A, which is interesting because almost every other revision of the calculator from that series used a Zilog Z80 microcontroller. But this one used the ASIC. So it was like a knockoff Z80, which made it difficult.
Is Zilog still in business? I mean, I know that they were like
I think so.
I thought they got bought up by PIC at some
They might
point.
still be selling the Z80 because TI's clearly buying them too. I'm surprised it's not an MSP 430.
No, I think I feel like they might have gotten bought up, but that's not an official statement. Okay, continue with your fine story, sir. Where were we? Oh yeah, because you got the ASIC version.
Yeah. I decided, I got in my head that, I want to do more reverse engineering work. And when someone pays you to do the work, you can't really talk about it. That's rude.
Fact.
Right. So, I was like, well, I need to reverse engineer something. And it needs to be something that's kind of a little difficult. And then I was like, I'll reverse engineer this calculator. That sounds reasonable. And it was much more difficult than I thought, but it was fun. I probably got like 200 hours into it or something. But I learned one of the cool things about reverse engineering very old designs with different best practices is that you can learn things. So, for example, the bottom of the calculator has the 2.5 millimeter jack for the serial communication, and the pads on that jack are oversized. The solder mask aperture is small, but the actual copper pads are very large, because that would help prevent it from being ripped off the board through users.
School children.
Right. And I was like, oh, that's clever. Like, I never thought of that, but now I can incorporate that into my designs. Let's make these pads too big.
So you want to make more of those Rev A boards? Is that?
Oh yeah. So right. So the object is to have a 1-for-1 identical copy of the TI-83 Plus graphing calculator mainboard. I was kind of inspired by Joey Castillo, who did the sensor watch, and we did the manufacturing for his crowd supply campaign. If here's a little hint, if you like sneak peek, if you like the sensor watch thing, watch out for January or February next year. There's going to be a new something coming out from Joey.
Ooh.
And so I wanted to do something kind of like that, but I didn't necessarily want to. I figured it might be more impressive if I just made an exact copy, because the point is to impress somebody, right? To show I can do a thing.
Yeah. But how are you going to get the ASIC?
From donor boards.
Oh, okay.
So you can buy them by the dozen on eBay broken. But
and
the
it's
trick
probably
is with
not
that,
the processor, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. But there's like 7 different revisions or 8 different revisions. Adrian Bertrand, I'm going off of memory, but he has he's from France, and he has a calculator group that he does where he is cataloging every type of TI-83 graphing calculator, every revision, every software revision, everything.
How Do you know what the website is for that?
I'm trying to find it. There's data math. So data math is really good, and that goes over a lot. Datamath.com, or excuse me, I lied. Datamath.org, and that goes over a lot of Texas Instruments product. Let me see if I can find Adrian. TIplanet.org.
TIplanet.org.
TIplanet.org, and through these communities, there's been all kinds of work done. So there was one guy, Danny, I want to say his name was, I can't remember off the top of my head. He did a full replacement OS, a custom firmware OS for the TI-83 Plus graphing calculator. So there's a lot of home brewing and community around the hardware.
Yeah.
That I found this out later. Once I started posting stuff, they found me, and so it's really fun. So it's something to think about. If there's like an old toy or something that you like and you want to fiddle around with it, you want to, try to put a new circuit board in it or something. See if there's an existing community of people doing that, because they might have a lot of resources for you.
I think that's absolutely true. So obviously, I'm not surprised there's a TI-83 community, the same way there's an HP-48 graphing calculator community, or the Tamagotchi community, or any of those things. I think one of our past guests, Dimitri, who's always playing with toys. What was it that fit? What was it? Pokemon Walker.
Oh yeah,
the Walker
the
one.
watch.
Yeah. He was just like, oh, I found this thing, and like on eBay, he's like, I'll just play with that, and then he found out like there's a whole community of resources there that are trying to get it.
Now, one of my favorite episodes along the same vein is the Sega Dreamcast VMU episode.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's Dimitri.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. and it was, he just wanted when you do these kind of things, you learn a lot of stuff very quickly.
Yeah.
And so that having that attitude, hey, I'm just going to fool around with this VMU and see what happens.
Check it out.
Can't get you places.
Yeah. I mean, but he's also somebody who gets bored in the middle of the night, and he's like, I'm just gonna put Linux on this 8-bit microprocessor. AVR.
Yeah. Some people have more patience than me.
Right.
And dedication and skill. Is the best place to learn about the calculator Twitter?
Yes. So it's in the show notes. There's a
Twitter thread.
Right? Twitter thread. That's where every time I work on it, I post on there in that thread. I really like once I watched, you had an episode, Twitter is my build log. and I was like, everything should be a thread. There shouldn't be 100 individual posts on a project. It should all just be a thread.
So given that, and we are, at the end of 2022, has that opinion changed given the state of Twitter? I mean, I hate to bring the outside world into all this reverse engineering.
So crisis precipitates change, and change is inevitable. And you just got to get used to that sometimes. And there's changes for good and there's changes for bad. And you have to live through the bad to get the good. If you run off when the bad happens, then you're not there when the good happens.
I mean, let's be honest. If we didn't accept change, we'd still all be on Friendster and LiveJournal.
Right.
And our websites would be run by GeoCities.
I miss GeoCities.
The Twitter, though, I love the electronics Twitter community.
Yeah.
I got electronicstwitter.com, and that just forwards to a search for electronics Twitter. And show you all the little electronics Twitter posts.
Oh, we got to put that in the show notes. That's a brilliant hack.
There's a ridiculous amount of skill and talent on Twitter for people that want to learn. And there's, I'm sure it's the same way with Reddit and stuff like that too. I found my place in Twitter. If you don't have a place online for you to learn more and communicate with people that are of the same mindset when it comes to learning electronics and doing maker stuff, find one. There's Reddit, Twitter, there's Facebook groups, and you know, it's great. Oh, and Mastodon. Mastodon's a thing now. Mastodon too.
No, but like I'm gonna be wherever the people are. Right now, it's split between places, but I've met so many friends through Twitter. I'm I haven't left. I'm not posting a lot, but I wasn't posting a lot before. But yeah, a lot of people. This is how I keep in touch. And if everyone moves, then I'll move with them. But if people are in both places, then that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at right now, is making that transition. And unfortunately, I don't think all of my Twitter accounts are gonna make it to Mastodon.
Like no, a lot of people have said like, "Hey, I'm not moving. If this goes away, then I'll just use less social media." Like, which is a totally fair.
Well, the thing is that like, so for electronics Twitter, definitely it feels like you have to have a Mastodon at this point.
Right.
But like for dance and voiceover, everyone's just on Facebook and Insta, and goddamn, I hate both of those things.
Yeah, it was nice when it was all in one place, wasn't it?
Now I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
I mean,
I think I have to have a TikTok too, and that's really upsetting.
Oh, that's a dance thing. Yeah. I'm surprised you don't have a TikTok for so you can dance in front of the screen.
Well, I don't put myself on screen, but I can put all my dancers on there all freaking day. And like, I just hire young dancers who are savvy to like, put out the dopest dances.
You just got to choreograph it.
No, I'm not choreographing.
No, you're not doing
I already did
that.
that. They just do it good.
You just have to create the content. That's it.
But now I just rely on young people to do that.
But
young people are willing to deal with China. Go ahead.
I am hoping with this Twitter thing that, it all comes down. It's going to. Things are just weird right now. Social media has enabled a lot of madness in the world. And this is just another example of that.
I'm just sitting back with my popcorn. We'll see.
Arturo 182. Everybody knows Arturo 182, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Arturo 182.
Arturo.
He says, he said when Mastodon first started rolling out and everybody was leaving, he says, I spent all these years getting all these followers just to start over again. It's Beanie Babies all over again. And I was like, yeah, that's a perfect analogy. All these Beanie Babies. But yeah, I kind of see it that way.
I just listened to a podcast on Beanie Babies. The guy who created Beanie Babies was not a nice guy.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear. But no, hopefully, eventually, all the problems that are surrounding the Twitter issue will get resolved and we can come back together as a family.
Yes.
I don't even know what that means. Like, I'm not making fun of you.
And no friends. Like,
yeah. I'm not,
like everybody just left.
Like when InfoSec leaves, that means that reverse engineering leaves, which means that electronics is then going to also feel that pull. So you can kind of see how it propagates. But then,
well, yeah, but I feel like that the more tech savvy folks are more likely to move around. But like most people don't care; they'll just gonna stay where their other people are.
No, I just like pissing off Elon. Like, I voted as many accounts as I could. I know, I don't, but like, I also don't understand. Like, if the U.S. government is storing like all of these tweets as part of
the Library
of Congress, thank you very much. Then to me, this feels like and open speech and having a platform for it is so important. Then this seems to me like you basically need this to be either government controlled or government run, if it's that important. But that's so unlikely to happen.
Well, but that's a whole other thing, right?
Yes.
For me, this is just another network to connect with people, and like back then it was all forums, right? And we all had to find the weird one electronics forum. I'm glad there's still weird forums for calculators. That's
right.
That's great. Like there's weird forums for KiCad. That's where I get my help. Like I don't usually. I mean, I can ask on Twitter, and then Arturo and Greg Davil will be like, "Oh no, not Arturo. He might. I don't know if he's KiCad.
He is. He's on Nightlies. He's on the cutting edge of KiCad.
It's Timon. That's Eagle still, but yeah. So
wait, who's still
I'm
on
so
Eagle?
Glad. Well, you use what you know.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I don't blame people.
Know.
Like, I know Altium's great, and if you have a license, good for you. Keep using it. I don't want to pay for it. I still do KiCad.
You remember? I guess it was about a year ago, 2 years ago. It came out. The Autodesk was trying to buy Altium.
Oh,
Altium.
I knew about Eagle, but not Altium.
No. They put a bid in to purchase the company Altium.
I would think that Altium it has enough money going on that it wouldn't need that.
I don't. It probably pales in comparison to Autodesk.
Hold on, let me make sure this isn't some Mandela effect thing. Let me look it up.
He just made up.
It's like I
just made it up.
You're all like, no. Somebody's like made a tweet. Wouldn't it be cool if? I'm like, I still can't even freaking install. What is Autodesk's favorite tool that I can't ever see?
AutoCAD. June 2021, Autodesk.com. Autodesk confirms proposal to acquire electronics design software leader Altium.
Whoa. And I bet you I know who's behind all that.
You want to go on the record with that?
No.
Well, another thing is like you use Octopart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Altium owns Octopart.
Yeah.
So if Autodesk, you know what Autodesk would do with Octopart, as soon as they buy it, it'll become an Eagle only feature.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, supply chain
Fusion, excuse me.
Supply Frame owns Fine Chips, or used to own Fine Chips as well.
ECAD, or what are they calling the new Eagle? ECAD Fusion?
Yeah, it's just Fusion 360 electronics. I think.
Yeah. Fusion. That's what I can't ever install. It just like the installer crashes on me no matter what computer I installed on.
I'm happy as could be with KiCad. I'm looking forward to version 7. I just saw the video with all the new features, and it's looking awesome. The main problem is that when new KiCad comes around, it usually takes CMs like 6 months to catch up with the new file format.
Oh no!
But you can always send Gerbers.
Yeah.
So speaking of Twitter threads, there's another Twitter thread that we looked at here about DigiHack. This is a Digimon. Can you remind us what Digimon is for those?
So Digimon
for the old people.
It's a VPET. It's like a Tamagotchi, but it was made by the same company as Tamagotchi.
Oh.
So it's a Tamagotchi. It's Tamagotchi for boys.
Yeah.
Is what it is. And you can interconnect them to fight.
Yes, I remember that part.
And so this came out at the same time as Pokemon, so it's essentially a Pokemon spinoff.
Yep.
And so and Digimon in general has gone off, and there's been multiple cartoon series and movies, and there's been 2 different trading card games. The latest one's very popular with many people, but it all started with this little toy.
Yep.
And you can interconnect them, and then what it does is when the battle starts, it sends a serial string. They each send a serial string to each other, and then you can disconnect it, and it'll play through the battle right there because it sends a serial string. There's no actual battling.
Is this all over RF? Is this like RF or
no? There's like metal contacts that you touch them to it. Here, let me hold it up to the camera. Here's my dev board, my Digimon dev board.
Oh, nice.
It's just a bunch of wires.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a squid.
Right.
Yeah. And hot glue. Don't forget the hot glue.
I was being polite to our guest, Alvaro.
Hot glue is great. I like.
Yeah. No, it doesn't get ripped off.
Yeah, I know.
But it can. If you want to remove it, you can. No,
yes.
Hot glue is professional shit. Are you kidding?
Right. So yeah, my daughter got really into Digimon keychains, and I was thinking, I looked online. It's like, oh, there's some way with each different version of the revision of the Digimon, they instituted some new thing. So like if you have a version E and you battle with a version B, you can unlock this Digimon. You can't unlock it any other way. You have to have a revision E and you have to battle a revision B to get this Digimon.
Wait. Would that be? Yeah. Meaning the version E unlocks unlocks something, or is it version B that unlocks something?
Well, it's like, so it's on the version E. So like in Pokemon, you have to evolve your Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
With Digimon, there's different. It's like branching. So if you want your Digimon to evolve this way, you have to do these steps. If you want it to evolve this way, you have to do these steps. And so I was thinking, I was like, well, it's only 2 ports. It's probably UART. We can figure that out. We're a couple of smart guys. And so we went to the office and we hooked up, we soldered DuPont cables to everything. Started breadboarding with it and reading the serial data. And there has been some work again. If you want to play with something, find a community. There has been some work already done on this, and I've been fooling around with it in my spare time. And I also used the scanning technique on the circuit board.
Yep.
So I've made circuit boards that fit into the enclosure. And the cool thing with that is that once I figure out how to use the display's 50 pins. Then I can buy a Digimon on Amazon for $12. I have an enclosure with a display, 4 buttons, a battery holder, and a speaker for $12. I just have to make it fit on the circuit board. So I'm working towards that. I'm not exactly sure. I think I might put some kind of ESP32 something in it. Maybe like war driving. Like GPS, put a GPS in an SD card and like a ESP32 and just have it aggregate data throughout the day.
I don't know if you saw Joe Grant, past guest Joe Grant made a pizza finder device. So it's a gizmo with a GPS. I don't know if it had a compass as well, and then it would guide you to the nearest pizza place.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't see that. Oh, so on this subject, I don't know if y'all brought this up before in a previous episode, but Joe Grant got a DARPA grant to do a bunch of reverse engineering research. Yep. And
I don't think we brought it up, but yes.
It's beautiful. It's so wonderful. He has an entire playlist where he tries every single thing you could do to reverse engineer a PCB. And he got paid by the United States government to do it. He used acetone.
Yep.
He's used different kind of solvents and chemicals. He did milling. He did sanding. Just any way that you can think to do something to a circuit board, he did it all for you, so you don't have to realize and get hurt. Because there's lots of ways that just don't work and you don't know. So he did the research. The government paid him to do the research to tell you what not to do so you don't get hurt.
And it's public information.
And it's a YouTube playlist. It's absolutely amazing.
So I think maybe before he got the grant, I don't remember the timeline on this, but I remember, I think Alvaro, you had asked him, and he had talked about there are services in China that you could just mail stuff out, and they'll just make
they'll do the whole thing for
you. So
I'll link to the playlist. It's called PCB Deconstruction Techniques. And his YouTube channel, but I'll add it to the show notes.
Beautiful.
He's got like 3-hour videos of just him sanding down a PCB. It's real ASMR.
Yes.
You know, you ever watch that Joe Pera stuff?
I haven't.
No, what's that?
So, well, off topic, but Joe Pera is a guy that's very soft-spoken, and he's just very nice, and he just has really nice things to say about everybody. And he has a Cartoon Network, an Adult Swim show, where he talks to you and he tells you nice things. Anyway.
Yeah. No, the ASMR that I listen to is different. The ASMR that I listen to is a woman getting massaged or beauty treatments, or a cat getting beauty treatments.
That sounds weird.
In Korean.
In Korean.
A Korean cat.
It's very niche.
They fly the cats to Korea.
I don't know why. It's just so funny. There's a cat there, and they're treating it like she's a star. It's like, oh, here's your makeup. We're gonna do your makeup. Okay, we're gonna do this treatment. And she's just speaking Korean, and the cat's just laying there like this,
living the dream.
Basically, just laying there, and it's like, oh, you got it. Like another one's like, oh, you got a bee sting. Let's treat that. It's just
my poor baby. Right.
It's just so. I mean, it's all made up, but it's just so hilarious.
Well, and that's 2022. You can find your entertainment any which way you want.
Yeah. You don't have to.
I would love to see that video. By the way, that sounds like a good Friday night.
You don't know. You no longer It's not just finding whatever you're gonna find on Pornhub in this very niche. Now YouTube lets you custom craft like how you want to be whispered to, and if it's like this. Also, there's a lot of ASMR for like ballet dancers and their point shoes. I do not listen to that. Yeah, I do not know why there's such obsession with that. I mean, it's satisfying to break in the shoe, but like, I don't
Hey,
understand why these
some
videos
people
are done.
like some things that I don't understand, and good for them, you know?
Mm-hmm. Find your bliss. It's 2022 and the world is fucked up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing more punk rock than self-determination and respecting the self-determination of others.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, if someone can make a living making quiet noises, like, that's awesome.
Yes. That's not us. We're really loud.
I cannot.
No, Alvaro, you're so loud. Ah!
Yeah. No, I don't do quiet.
No. Okay,
so
where
anyway,
were we?
DigiHack, check it out. Twitter thread.
Yeah, so I got the step board. Oh, my power went out again.
It's back.
You can't. Oh yeah, no. I hear some beeping.
You're charging
my
again.
backup kicking on.
How long does your battery backup last?
Long enough. So
okay.
it's a whole network rack. So we're back.
Look, all I'm saying is that this year these last couple of years because of the pandemic, we've had fireworks, we've had missile alerts,
like bombs.
We've had power look, we are bringing it to our audience, like, subscribe
in the ditches. Right.
Oh, so I do want to say, past guest Oleg.
Yeah.
He is in the cover of Time magazine. I don't know if you saw that.
Because of the Starlinks. No, I haven't seen this. Holy shit.
So the Time Person of the Year was Zelensky, and there's a big picture of Zelensky, and then there's other Ukrainian people kind of around him, and next to his ear there's Oleg, which is awesome.
That's incredible. This has been quite a year for Ukraine.
So
yeah, our guests are top of the
top shelf. Only
Time
the best.
magazine.
Only the best.
You know it.
Yeah. Right.
Speaking.
Welcome to the club, Dave.
Make magazine.
That's right.
Yes.
We're in the current issue of Make magazine. This is issue 83.
Yes.
And I am featured. Chris and I are both featured on the same page as Philip Tyrone.
Nice.
So, pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where we go now?
I don't know.
Well, it's really the way it goes down. We're at the top.
So if you want, I could talk a little bit about commercialization of a product idea, a project that someone might have.
Just really quickly.
Jen has her Arduino lizard. So
what?
Yeah, so you have your Arduino
lizards earlier,
and you've already breadboarded a lot of it. You know what sensors you're going to use. You've already done, like, you got your temperature.
I've made very tiny tacos for the model,
and you got a whole bunch of Adafruit dev boards and a lot of hot glue and loose wires and drawings and napkins and all that stuff. And you come to me and say, David, I want to do this.
Yes. Here's my prototype using Cricut cutouts to make the Tyrannosaurus Rex mini size. It's scaled, and here's a Barbie doll.
Right.
So you can understand where exactly the tacos need to aim for.
So the first place I like to start is it takes 10,000 thoughts to have one great idea. 10,000 thoughts give you 1,000 ideas. 1,000 ideas give you 100, good ideas, and so on and so forth, and 10. And then you're going to, out of that 10,000, you're going to have 10 good ideas that are worth putting effort into, money, doing research, doing your scale model, your breadboards, putting like a month of your life into to see what happens. But not every good idea that you put effort into is the one that you should bring to market.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you might want to reconsider that might be a money pit.
Yeah, hardware is not the best way.
Well, no,
welcome to my life.
The taco dinosaur.
Have you thought about children are very gullible? That's
For
really the market
stuff?
I'm trying to capture here. The gullible children who have very strong sway over their parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the market I'm going for.
So there's a lot of new legislation around that too.
So you can't do that.
Is it dinosaurs are just throwing tacos around? Well, how is Taco Bell ever gonna achieve the future of tacos?
But they're supposed to win the fast food wars, right?
Are they?
The taco dinosaurs?
With
No, the Taco Bell.
Oh,
Somebody out there knows what I'm talking about.
I don't know. The nacho fries thing seems like a pretty cheap thing.
I did want to cover one more thing.
Sure.
And it is, and we were chatting about this earlier, but if you go to Twitter, and I'll put a link in as hashtag new prop, y'all have been working on some escape room props, which I will, for people who don't know what an escape room is, check it out, Google it. It's basically, you go to this place, they put you in a room, and you have to escape it in a fun way, not in a Saw movie way.
We could probably explain it by linking them to a Bob's Burgers episode that also had an escape room in it.
But it's like a big puzzle. Like, you need to solve a puzzle in an hour to kind of get out of a room or multiple rooms. And if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. I've been doing them with my team at work, and we always have a blast. And they always have these really cool props that are usually electromechanical. And so, can you tell us a little bit about what you've been working on, or not the details, but whatever you can tell?
Sure. Yeah. No. So Chris, my business partner, has been doing escape room and amusement park work and stuff like that for years. And he's been doing it. He was doing it for years before I met him. And so he brought a lot of that work over with him. Mm-hmm. And in the back of our building, we have a 3,500 square foot fabrication area with CNC machines and everything, and escape rooms. We don't work with the large ones, the franchises and all that, but we work a lot with private owners. And they'll have an idea. They'll say, "Hey, we're thinking about doing an Alice in Wonderland or a mine shaft," or Chris has done like Aliens, or
I see a Fifth Element one.
Yeah, it did a fifth. So that one's in the jungle. So you're in a plane. So when you start out, this is sick. When you start out, you're on a plane. There's a bunch of seats. All the plane seats have sensors in them, weight sensors. You don't know this, but they all have weight sensors. So the controller, which is we have a controller that we designed in house. It's called a Lancer. Most props get one. The controller knows who that someone is in what seat. It knows what seat is being sat in. And you have to sit in the seats in a special order in order to advance the next part of the game. Everything's just mag locks and magnets and sensors and RFIDs. And then when you get out, you're in the jungle. And there's a video on Twitter. I don't think I put new prop on it. I probably should have. But I posted it recently. But the installer and the production company is called Morbid Entertainment. They're out of New York. They're wonderful people to work with. And they built this jungle inside this guy's building. And you have to find your way through the jungle into the hidden temple. And then you have to find all the medallions and MacGuffins and the stones and the Fifth Element stones. And you have to put them on the pedestals, and everything has to be, there's shrunken heads. Everything has to be in different orders. People come to Chris with general ideas, and he just spits them out. We do probably about 20 to so rooms a year.
How often do people put the shrunken heads in place of the stones in the Fifth Element one instead? And does that work?
I don't know. We actually never, neither one of us have ever played an escape room.
You haven't?
So I've never once played an escape room. Neither has Chris. I
wonder if that's good as a designer. Like, I think
so you don't get trite. You don't get trite.
But yeah. I feel like you'll be extra. I don't want to say critical, but you probably like, oh, I wonder how they did this and that. And
right.
You broke the room.
Anybody wants a pro tip on escape rooms? Take a bunch of magnets with you. Just a tip.
Just to feel. Well, so past guests of the podcast, some of them have magnets embedded in their body. You could just feel around.
We did one. It was a spy room. We did one. It was a spy room, and Chris printed a big map on foam board. Okay, so a big global map, and then behind it he put, and this is on Twitter too, he put a metal plate, and then he put Hall effect sensors behind reed switches behind the metal plate. And so you had to find the spy's itinerary. You had to know where the spy was going. And then you had these big thumbtacks. They were magnets. We 3D printed them, but they're just big thumbtacks, and you had to put the thumbtacks on the board in the order that the spy traveled the world. But you had to put them in the right order because, again, all the reed switches went to a controller.
Yep.
And so if you did it in the right order, it didn't matter.
Yep.
So we could put RFID into anything, and we can make fun out of it.
Okay. So 1, bring magnets. 2, be aware that there will be RFID. So maybe bring a reader.
And 3, just have fun. Because
just have fun.
If you like puzzles, if you don't like
it's
puzzles,
an experience.
I love puzzles.
Yeah.
The guy that we build for, and we build for individuals too, but we also build a lot for this installer, Morbid Entertainment. They do a knockout job. It looks like a blockbuster movie. Like it's a jungle. We did a haunted asylum. And it looks like a haunted asylum. It looks like
it's like
you're gonna die in there.
Props.
Yeah.
I think my main thing is like, okay, what if they're doing all these escape rooms, but truly this is actually the guy responsible for Saw in real life.
I mean,
I don't think he would have time. I don't think he would have the time. He stays really busy.
But sometimes you have to do the hard work to fund what you really love, which is murdering people.
I'm with you. I'm there with that for sure.
Okay.
A lot of times you have to do stuff you don't really care about to do the stuff you want to do.
Yes. It's like, do what you love, even if it's making torture chambers. Like, I don't know.
Right. Self-actualization, self-determination, right?
Okay. Let's move on to more cheerful things. Okay, we ask our guests many of these same questions, so there's not really a surprise. What's your favorite tool?
My favorite tool is my notebook.
Wow.
So I got an everyday carry bag. Oh no, my card thing fell on the floor.
No.
The Spotify card thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And in the front of my bag, I got a custom Cyber City Circuit branded notebooks. They're dot grid at 4 millimeter pitch. And then I have a pen pouch.
Oh,
cool.
If you ever go somewhere, pro tip, if you ever go somewhere and there's someone speaking and you want to be noticed by the person speaking, be the only person in the crowd taking notes. They will notice.
Yep.
That's true.
So yeah, my notebook. I love my notebook.
I thought you were gonna say like bring not just one pen but many pens and just lay them all.
Well, yeah. So I lay this out. It's a whole show, right? Yeah. It's a performance, right?
Yes.
You lay it out. I got my red pen, my blue pen, my black pen, my Sharpies, my highlighters. I even have a little. Be the only one taking a voice recorder. They will.
Yeah. Nobody does that. They just use it. Okay. It's like you're kind of an undercover journalist, maybe is how it comes across, maybe a bit.
Yeah, sure. I'm doing an expose.
Or just cares about the presentation,
Right.
I came to your presentation. Now I'm going to find my voice.
Yeah, right. But also, after you have a stack of notebooks that you filled up with notes over the years, it becomes really satisfying to hold,
It's just like in the movie 7.
Yes.
Sorry. I feel like I'm creating an escape room as we speak. You got to pick up like the right notebook. Find the right combination.
All right, so you have one last question, Jen.
Yeah. I just get one. Okay. The other question we tend to ask, well, there's a bunch of questions we ask. If you're stranded on a desert island,
you can keep going.
Yeah, we're gonna keep going.
That's okay.
If you're stranded on a desert, what do you bring with you to survive? And one thing.
Sure.
One thing.
Sure.
Not setting up shop. That's not stranded. It looked like you planned a vacation here.
Well, wait. So stranded desert island.
Well, I messed up then.
No. That's okay.
Because I asked the AI.
Yeah.
I went to ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT to give me a comprehensive list of things that you would need to survive on a desert island. Would you like to know what the robots?
Are you typing it in?
No, it's all in the show notes.
Yep.
Water, food, shelter, tools, first aid kit, fire starter, communication signaling devices, sun protection, clothing, and personal items, including books, music player, journal, so they can provide comfort and distraction in a potential potentially stressful situation.
I mean, they're not wrong.
No,
Right.
no.
Yeah, we'll put this in the show notes. I wonder if you told it like if you had to pick one thing and justify your decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, it's gonna get pretty depressing then, huh?
I'm gonna go with multiple pairs of underwear, because if I'm gonna be dead, I'm not gonna be found dead in dirty underwear. That just sounds like a parent talking, like an old parent. Okay. Do you want to pick one, or
so
you're like, no?
Let's talk a little bit about 2023.
Yeah, let's move this along.
2023's coming.
Yeah.
If you're ready or not.
Mm-hmm. Now, I included for our prospective guests and hosts a timeline that includes all of the sci-fi movie franchises when they were taking place, so we would have a good sense of what the hell was going on.
So we're past Back to the Future.
We're past Back to the Future. We're past Blade Runner.
We're past Blade Runner.
I think we're also past Johnny Mnemonic. I don't think that one was in there.
We are definitely past Johnny Mnemonic.
Mm-hmm.
That Hulk Hogan movie where he plays a space alien. That was
We're approaching the Terminator.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember Dos Ex.
We actually passed the Terminator a few times.
Well,
so,
we're
the first
Terminator,
one,
like the future.
Mm-hmm.
Well, originally Skynet went sentient in 1997,
mm-hmm.
and then it was moved to, I believe, 2007
mm-hmm.
in Terminator 3.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not when they came back from.
What do you mean?
Right. Well, like so Skynet went active, but then in the future, when they send a Terminator back, that was later on.
Like, the Singularity. Yes. We are fast approaching that.
Yeah, that's in 2029.
So right, we should all have a party.
Should we?
That Skynet party. Well, I was gonna,
probably
James Cameron's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah. So the most I don't know. There's Avatar. Okay, well, I'm just gonna turn my head this way.
How he spends his money is up to him.
That's true.
So I just asked ChatGPT if you had to bring one item to the desert island, and just one, please justify it. If I was to be stranded on a desert island, I would bring a satellite phone. This would allow me to communicate with the outside world. Okay, this thing's not that stupid.
And you can get on Twitter.
Wait. Alvaro, ask it. What's the one thing that you would want in a zombie apocalypse? All
right, but I'm gonna have to go soon. Let's see.
Okay. Then we'll actually ask the questions. We'll let our guest answer the question.
What's the one thing you would bring for a zombie apocalypse? I would bring a survival kit.
What the hell is that? That's some Band-Aids and maybe an axe.
No, a survival kit. I mean, in a zombie apocalypse, your survival kit's a bunch bigger.
It's telling me the same thing it told you. Some items that might be useful to include in a survival kit: water, no perishable food, first aid supplies, weapons. Zombies are dangerous, and having a weapon such as a gun or knife would allow. This is cool.
Okay.
But yeah, I only have a few minutes. I'm gonna have to run.
Okay, so 2023, is the future what you were hoping for?
The future's weird.
It's like
the future's very weird.
It's like all the shit that they wrote in. To me, it feels like all the shit that they wrote in the sci-fi things about disinformation, that's happening. But we're still kind of like no flying cars, no cool stuff.
Well, you got to think too. The people right now that are driving the future are the people that are most after you, separating you for your money.
Mm-hmm. Grifting.
The people, well, not even that, like Amazon, they're driving AI to figure out how to better market to you to separate you from your money, give you a deal that you can't refuse, right? And so, and all the companies, ChatGPT is available for us to use, sure. But what has Amazon been using for the past 10 years with millions of dollars? And so that's
no,
weird.
they just prune metrics. They just see what's selling, and then they just go into that business and like make it lower than whoever else was doing that.
That too, but I bet you there's an AI telling them that, which product to do that with and which one not to do that.
Well, I mean, they've been doing this for decades.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a long time. As a former Amazon employee, they just look at the metrics, which is all really what AI is. It's just metrics, statistics. Okay. What are you looking forward to doing more of in 2023?
I want to get more into more design work. We did a lot of manufacturing in 2020. A lot of people were buckling down and with their budgets and stuff, so there wasn't a lot of spending, but people needed manufacturing done. So we have an entire assembly line, and I really want to do more design work and prototyping. We'll still take your manufacturing order, but that's what I'm excited about, and learning new things, and then the shortage coming to some conclusion.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Depending on what that is, it's not going to look like it did in 2019. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time.
Okay. Last question.
Before
we close out the show, what advice would you give yourself 20 years ago, knowing what today is like? And I don't mean the weather.
Times are hard. A lot of times of life, right? And what I would say to anybody going through harsh times, no matter what they are, is that they always come to an end also. And everything passes. Crisis precipitates change, and change is inevitable. And if you make it to the other side of the change, then you can play another day.
Yep.
Set a goal and just inch towards your goal. You don't have to push real hard. You just slowly work towards your goal, and eventually you'll get there. Yeah. And just try to have a direction.
Yep. Just it sounds like a little mixture of grit and just make a choice, and it doesn't have to pan out perfectly.
No. Right. If it doesn't pan out at all, that's still fine, because you become a more well-rounded individual through the process.
Okay. And with that, we're going to close out the show. Woo! Okay. We went all over the place on this one. So, any final words, Dave? Looks like
yes. I have again, month of December, we're partnering with Hacker Boxes for their subscription box, where you get like a little ultrasonic Arduino Nano theremin thing. Check out electronicstwitter.com and come visit everybody in the electronics Twitter community on Twitter. And if you left the electronics Twitter community Mastodon, please come back. We all miss you. And and it's a really wholesome place. I know a lot of people have problems with toxic people on Twitter. Just use the block button. Block button's easy. Just if someone's being toxic, you don't want them in your life, get rid of them. It's okay. Just block them. It's a really nice community. And that's, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, please.
Sorry, that's all. No, that's
and
all.
How can people find you?
I'm at Make Augusta on Twitter, or cybercitycircuits.com, and that's it. I mean, between those two. If you have a quote request, email sales@cybercitycircuits.com. If you want a free consultation, I'm always make myself available, no charge, no obligation. And yeah, that's all.
Okay. Alvaro, how can people find you?
I am alvarop.com. I am also on Mastodon. Social is just at Alvaro Prieto on Twitter. Yep, that's it.
You can find me at RebelBotGen on Twitter, and on Mastodon, I think it's still RebelBotGen at CozyElectronics.com. Don't ask. I didn't make the instance. It's more complicated, but at least it's like a small instance with some really cool people. You want to find out more about the show? Well, you can still go to unnamed show. I'd say unnamed_show on Twitter. Probably not going to be used as much, admittedly.
We'll still post the shows.
Yeah. Unnamed, and then on Mastodon, unnamed RE at infosec.exchange. I have a typo currently. It says info. Like, I gotta fix that. Anyway, you can hit us up on the comment form, because nobody uses that, but it's full of funny things. So send us your funny things in there. And you can always find us on unnamedre.com. We want to give a shout out to all of our Patreon supporters who are innumerable to list, but we did just get a new sign up from Cyber City Circuits, which we said, you don't have to do that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, as always, we're looking for reviews via podcast apps. So whether you're on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Who's a What's It, What's That, Music or Us, Podcasteria, I don't know, MySpace,
No,
whatever it is.
MySpace.
I don't think I was never on MySpace.
We did add something because somebody wanted to listen to in their car.
Google, I think Google Pods.
No, it was something else, but they're like, "Oh, my car uses this out. Can you put it?" Like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, we're on Amazon too. Also, like things that we never even signed up for, but put in a review and we might read it or say nice things about you or whatever, or send a sticker. Who knows? Also, we did finish out all of the T-shirts. I hope everyone got their T-shirts. If you didn't, that's not our fault.
It should be in the mail. If not,
yeah, but they look fabulous. We were looking at them earlier.
And Jen will get hers
someday.
Because I have them.
Someday.
All right.
Okay. Happy holidays, everybody, and Happy New Year. And we'll see you in 2023.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Listen to the end. There's probably going to be bloopers. A lot of them.
See, I'm already laughing.
I'm just looking at Christmas gifts right now. They're just all here.
All right.
We didn't do that. You did that.
All right.
It's, you know what? The show recording is definitely over an hour, and you can see why now.
Hello and welcome to the Unnamed Reverse Engineering Podcast. All right.
5 years. That's 5 years of experience right there.
I can't even say
There's
podcast.
so many bloopers in this episode.